Hi, everybody. So I thought I would do, I guess, a mega haul video, and never done a haul video, so I definitely love shopping, and especially when I find super good deals. And so had a pretty fun day today. Actually, I went with my mom. We live in Spokane, Washington, and we're a couple hours away from the Canadian border, near the panhandle of North Idaho, just to give you an idea of where we are. But so my mom and I get our stuff together, and I make a lot of like greeting cards and um, Christmas cards, and I might show some of those one of these, like maybe I'll make a video on some of my Christmas stuff at some point. But we actually do this craft fair up in a little town called Northport, that a lady we know who is a potter, she puts on this craft fair every year, just before Christmas. And so my mom and I take a bunch of our stuff up there and set it up, and she does a bunch of advertising in her little town, and people come from all over the place up there because it's very rural. It's this little tiny town situated in these incredibly beautiful mountains, and it's just kind of a cool little thing, and it pays off for us to do that. And it's neat to be able to support her in that as well. So anyway, so that's what we did today. And on the way up there, we go through a few other little towns where there's some thrift stores that we like to go to, and some antiques shops and stuff like that. Well, every time we go to Northport, we actually wind up missing this lady who owns like a junk shop in Northport, Washington. And so we happened to luck out today, and she was there. And it's basically the only like thrift store, junk shop, antique store, whatever, in the town of Northport. And I just have to tell you that I scored, and so did my mom, actually. But before that, before we went to the junk shop, the lady that does the craft fair, this is just kind of totally off subject, I guess, a little bit. Before we went to the junk shop, we set up all our stuff at the craft fair and stuff, and then the lady happened to have these two really old steamer trunks out in one of her sheds that had been there since she bought the house like 20 years ago. And she had told my mom a long time ago that she could have them. So anyway, so that was kind of exciting to go and get these trunks. And I was kind of hoping that they'd be filled with all kinds of really cool ephemera and stuff like that. But unfortunately, they were both empty, but they're in really good shape and they're gorgeous. And so we each got a new, really old steamer trunk. So anyway, not bad. So anyway, we went to the junk shop, and this place is crazy. It's like, apparently people just drop stuff off there in the middle of the night, and it's this older lady. She's forced to basically deal with the stuff, but she admits that she's kind of a hoarder, but she justifies it by saying that it's all for sale. So anyway, she has some pretty interesting stock, needless to say. So anyway, I thought I would show you guys the stuff that I got, and I was pretty happy. Like, the whole 2-hour drive home, I was on cloud 9. Like, I could not wait to get this stuff in the house and look at it a little bit closer. So I'm gonna show you some books that I got from her first, and then move on to the rest of it. It's actually quite a lot, so this is probably going to be a long video, but I guess you'll see that before you start the video. Anyway, so I'll just jump in. After all of that rambling, I'm going to jump in. Anyway, so I got a couple of atlases. These are both pretty old, 1947. And I'm definitely, you know, this one's been put back together with packing tape and stuff like that. So it's definitely seen better days, but it's so cool. I mean, I just love the feeling of the paper and the pages, and it's so soft, and it smells yummy. Like, it just smells like old book, you know. And it's interesting. You can tell, like, the ink, if you see it in the right light, you can really see the ink that they use to print. It's just kind of like, and my hands are filthy. Sorry, I've been digging through junk all day. The ink is like sitting on top of the paper, like it didn't actually absorb into the paper. So I don't know. That just kind of tells me they used a pretty heavy ink. So anyway, it's a cool old atlas, and lots of cool images in here that I can use in journals. And I do want to eventually do some travel themed junk journals, and this might be kind of what puts me over the edge and sets me down that path to do that. So anyway, and I mean, I love the size of the book pages, because I can use these to make envelopes and, you know, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, they're atlases. You guys have seen those before. So, and there's just another one, a little bit larger. And this one, I think, was, what year was this? This one's 1937. This one was printed. It's a little bit older. And I like a lot of the back, the encyclopedia section, I guess, of this one a little bit better than the other one. It's just different kind of style. But I like these maps. I have a couple friends that live in Illinois, and I think it's interesting because I'm always teasing about how they have nothing but corn. And so this map shows the concentration of corn production in the country in 1937. Yeah, there's all the corn and the hogs. Anyway, so yeah, so this is a pretty nice this is a pretty nice atlas. I like it, and I like the ink on this one too. It's like the ink is like matte, but then the paper behind it is like glossy. So it's just kind of a neat effect. It's probably doesn't come through very well on the camera, but in person, it's really neat. This book's in pretty good shape, but anyway, so there's those. When I finish this video, towards the end, I will let you guys know how much money I spent at this junk shop. And I think you will be surprised. Oh, this is a little coupon that was in the front of one of those atlases. A post-war, that's a coupon, a post-war supplement showing all peace table boundaries. This offer expires 6 months after all peace treaties have been signed. I don't even know what that means, but that's cool. And this book, I'm not even really sure what the title is because it's in some other language. She thinks that it might be some kind of, it does look like some kind of Norwegian or, type of language or something like that. Swedish, maybe, we don't know. But it's a really neat book, printed 1912. And yes, I am going to tear it apart. Okay, like that's what I that's what I do with these books. I tear them apart, and I just look at it like this. They're either going to sit there in this junk shop and nobody's going to buy them. Nobody's going to do anything with them. Nobody's going to see them, except for maybe some book collector that, would possibly look at this book and say, yeah, well, look at it. It's all beat up. And, I don't know. I just don't feel guilty about it. And I know there's a lot of people out in the world that really frown upon people tearing up old vintage books. But I'm sorry. That's just what I do. And I love them. And that's why I do it, because I want to use this book in another way. I'm showing love for the images and the paper, and respecting the font and the print and the images again, and just showing it to people, and kind of admiring all of the details and things like that. I mean, they just don't do this kind of stuff anymore in books. These little what do they call them? Monograms. Anyway, this book is all printed in some other language. I don't even know what language it is, but it's a neat book. So some of these book pages will definitely be making their way into some of my journals. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what that image is, but that's weird. Look at that. Somebody being whipped. I don't know what that means. Anyway, so yeah. What did it say? 1912. So yeah, this is Art Deco kind of style, I guess. Anyway, there's that one. And then she had a whole bunch of these. These are postage stamp catalogs. This one is from 1951. And I just had to have one of these. She had a whole bunch of them going back to like 1945 or so. And it's just basically a catalog of old postage stamps, their value and things like that at the time this was printed. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's in some other... Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was in another language. It looks like it is. This is some piece of paper from a library. Anyway, it's just like a note paper. Anyway, so I thought this would be really fun to make. This paper is really thin. This book has been wet at some point, and I have to tell you that I picked out the worst condition one of these that I could, because I knew I was going to be tearing it up, and I thought, you know what, this one has some water damage. Obviously, it's been wet at some point. It's kind of warped and stuff. You can see it's kind of warped and funky, but since I knew I was going to be tearing it apart, I made sure I picked the worst copy. So, and I just love some of the images in here. They're all black and white, which is kind of neat. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to use some of these images even in some of my art tiles and stuff, which I think will be kind of cool. Anyway, so there's that one. And this is definitely going to get torn apart. And who knows, maybe I'll make this book cover into a journal. Why not? And this one I thought was really neat. I thought this would be a really cool cover. I bought this mainly for the cover. But I thought this would be really cool to use for kind of a steampunk style journal, which I've also been wanting to do. But yeah, the Transistor Circuit Handbook, 1956, I think this was printed. But it has some kind of interesting imagery as well. I love some of these old little like schematics or whatever. Yeah, parts lists and things like that. That stuff is cool to me. Look at this. It's neat. It'd make a cool little envelope, or even just fold it up and tucked in a pocket in a junk journal, or as pages in a junk journal. So there's that one. This is in pretty good shape too. The spine is pretty sturdy. And I just like the feel of these old books and the smell, and I like how they, dyed the edges of the paper and stuff too. So there's that one. And here's another one that I definitely bought with the intention of just tearing it apart and using the cover, because I think it's just beautiful. The Ugly Duchess is the title of the book. And so she had it priced at $10, but I didn't pay that. Just so you know. But yeah, so it's a yummy orange. Orange is one of my favorite colors of all time. If you've ever looked in my Etsy shop, you'll see that I definitely like orange and pink together. So there's that one, and this is just a novel. Pretty heavy paper in this book, so this paper will definitely come in handy. I like to do like decoupage on this weight of book paper. So yeah, there's that one. And then this little guy, which is super cool. I mean, this is just the neatest little book. Adele's Carpenter's and Builder's Guide. And it's got like a little hammer and stuff on the front. And I just love the graphic on there. It's just really neat. This will most likely be turned into a journal also, this book cover. So this is an old book. You can see how discolored that is. This page. This one is like craft paper, but look how old that paper is. So neat. She had this one priced at $5. When we build, let us think that we build forever. Let it not be for present delight, nor for present use alone. Let it be with such work as our descendants will thank us for, and let us think as we lay stone on stone that a time is to come when these stones will be held sacred because our hands have touched them, and that men will say as they look upon the labor and wrought substance of them, see, this our Father did for us. John Ruskin. That was kind of a cool quote. Yeah, so this was published last printing 1951. So anyway, so this one is just basically like how to build stuff, like how to build a house, installing insulation, porches, roof framing, openings and partitions, joists, girders and sills, framing assembly. So it's all these like diagrams and instructions. You know, I mean, if you have this book, you could build a house. I'm saying. Anyway, so there's that one. And then I picked up quite a bit of sewing stuff at that shop. She had some pretty cool sewing stuff. So, and I got this book about quilting. Let's see, when was this published? 1964. A lot of the stuff that I got from her was from the 60s, like early 60s to early 70s. So, but this one had some neat images in it, as you know, just really neat graphics. And this is, yeah, this will definitely be disassembled, and a lot of these pages are going to be used in journals. So yeah, like just fold up a couple pages and tuck them in, and who knows, maybe I'll even, you know, copy some of these, because some of them are actually pretty neat. Like I like these little embroidery stitches, stuff like that. Yeah, so there's that one. And then just some little funny stuff. This is the instructions for I think this was actually in that book, but instructions for a home sewing machine, directions for quilt making. Yeah, so I just like these little pamphlets and stuff. I like to just stick them in a pocket in a journal. And then and there's an old McCall's step-by-step sewing book. Definitely 70s. Look at that dress. That's rad, huh? Let's see. Yeah, I know this has got to be 70s. But these would be so cool. Just cut out that little image and make that into a little tag or something. All these little tables and charts and stuff like that. And there's some color pages in here too. How to sew, you know, how to do it. You know, how to cut out patterns and how to lay them out and cut them out and that kind of thing. So I definitely see some sewing themed journals in my future. And you guys just wait until you see the other stuff I got. But so I don't know, here's this is like a an antique guide. Anyway, I'm not actually sure what this is, but I thought it was cool. So it's going to get disassembled and used in a junk journal. She had a whole stack of these like instructions for farm equipment. And I almost feel like I should have gotten more of these from her. Just because some of them are pretty neat. I don't know. Yeah, so this is some kind of hay baling thing. I don't know. Just really old paper stuff, you know? And I love these diagrams and stuff like that, you know? Parts lists and stuff like that. I want to make a junk journal for a guy, you know? Like a... I don't know, like a manly junk journal for a guy. I think that would be cool. Maybe I'll give it to a guy and then just, you know, convince him that it's cool. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of guys that like junk journals. Who knows? Yeah, so this one's directions of how to use the plow. So, yeah, so I'll stick some of those pages into some journals. And she had a whole bunch of maps, whole bunch of really old maps. So, you know, I actually just picked up one that was pretty beat up. I just kind of wanted one that was funky and well used, and I thought I should pick one up from the Idaho Panhandle because I love to go camping up there, and that's yeah, so I thought maybe I could find my camp spot on this map and put it in my own journal or something. And then she had this whole like set of these little like pamphlets. These are put out by Singer, and yeah, published in 1960, most of these. And I want to say that is a Singer 301K maybe, 301A. I don't know. It's like the slant needle variety of Singer. And I had one of those machines. They're really, really good sewing machines. If you ever see a Singer, like a slant needle Singer sewing machine, they were put out in the 50s. Really, really, really good old sewing machines. They're durable, tough. They can take a licking and keep on ticking. They're awesome. Anyway, I won't tell you what happened to mine, but it definitely never broke. Anyway, so these are just little sewing like guides. Must have been some kind of subscription that somebody had or something like that. And or maybe these were sold at, these were sold at like a little store, or like a fabric store probably. And whoever had these bought all of them because there's a bunch. Bedspreads. How to make bedspreads. So awesome paper in these. Awesome images. And I will definitely be copying some of this stuff. So, you know, honestly, I would love to be able to share some of these things with you guys or with anybody. in some way, you know. So I've been kind of thinking about trying to put together some like bundles of, you know, ephemera, and maybe selling them on Etsy. And if I did do that, I would make it like really reasonable. But you know, I could disassemble all these little books and you know, put together a bunch of little packs of just random things, like maybe a themed packs, like a sewing one, or one that was more steampunky or whatever. Anyway, so you get the idea. All of these are really neat. And these are all published by Singer, so that's cool. I really like Singer sewing machines. There's the Roman shade and Austrian curtain. How to make one of those. Well, those are cool. People don't make those things anymore. Maybe I should make one of those. So then, one second. There's a couple of games that were in pretty good shape. Parker Brothers French card game. I don't even know how to say that, so I'm not going to try. But it's a card game, and anybody who likes junk journaling knows that these are invaluable. Just cards. Cards to stick in pockets. Yeah, and then like here's some of the like score sheets for this game. I'll cut those apart, maybe even copy them and make more. And some of them are filled out, you know. Somebody played this game. Jason and GM. Maybe that's Grandma. And then this is the instructions of how to play that game. Anyway, apparently it wasn't a big, huge hit because, well, I've never seen that game before. No, like, you know, Scrabble. Anyway, here's another one. And these games are in really good shape. No, I don't feel guilty that I'm going to cut them apart. I don't. But, yeah. And this game has a bunch of other cards. Just with this cute little graphic and a number on the front. That's all they are. Flinch. Bunch of cards in there. So those will come in handy. So that. And how much do you think I spent at this store so far? You guys are going to be surprised when you find out. Okay. So I just had to get these little pictures. I love that little bird. And I'm going to take it out of that frame and probably use it on the cover of a journal. Same with this one. I just thought that was so pretty. And I couldn't pass this up. Cherries. So it's just a cool little picture. I'll probably hang that up in my house somewhere. So these were the last things that I picked up, and if she had wanted much more than what she actually wound up settling on for my whole purchase, I probably wouldn't have gotten those. But okay, so I scored on patterns at this store. I'm telling you, I didn't even go through all the patterns that she had. I was just blown away. Watch this. So I went through them and I tried to pick out basically anything that was early 70s and older. And it's crazy. It's crazy. So all those and those. So all of these patterns, 45 of them all together. And I mean, I just could not pass them up. Could not do it. I have to say, when I got into this store, I just was like, I just knew I'm going to have to go back there. I'm definitely going to have to go back there because I couldn't. First of all, she has so much stuff in there. It was like I was knocking stuff over left and right. Literally like a bull in a china shop. Anyway, but I was just so excited. It was like there was just cool stuff everywhere. And now she kind of knows, like, she was very, very, very appreciative that my mom and I came in today. And I don't think she gets a whole lot of traffic. So, you know, she was definitely happy and definitely willing to make a deal with us. So, yeah, so I just got a whole bunch of these patterns, and I'm thinking to maybe sell some of them on Etsy. Let me know if you guys think that would be a good idea. You know, I don't know. I've never looked on there for patterns, but oh, here's this little needle dial. Figure out based on what kind of fabric you're sewing, what needle you should use and stuff like that. I don't know. This is just some weird piece of paper. Oh, a knit spool. I don't know. Anyway, it was somewhat overwhelming. Oh, wait, put that over here. Patterns. So these are all basically, most of these are actually 60s. But then there's some that definitely go back to the 50s. And I'm kind of basing that on the styles. I think this is 50s. And this one is definitely early 60s. Yeah, so it was so fun. I mean, I dug through just bins and bins and bins of patterns and oh, I haven't even shown you the doilies and the linen and stuff yet. I like that one. So, and all of these have the pattern in them and the instructions inside, which I love using the instructions in journals. This one I think is probably 40s. And this one, I think this one is probably 40s also. And maybe that one. I don't know. All these ones that are in the plastic, I think, are definitely older. This one for sure. I know I don't have my glasses on, but on the edge of the pattern, it usually will have the date somewhere. But man, I mean, this place was just packed full of good stuff. It was not organized like you would want it to be. I'm telling you, it was kind of a madhouse. But there's so much stuff in the store that, you know, it's nearly impossible for her to keep it organized. Anyway, isn't that adorable? Look at that. So cute. The rest of it's down there somewhere. 60s. 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 And look at that. Bathrobes. This is definitely 70s. So is that one. This one is 50s. Probably late 50s. Late 50s. This one's really old. I don't know. Anyway, so, oh no, a wedding dress. These are fun. For Lois Murphy. Mrs. Lloyd Willard August wants pattern. Route 1. Oh, she's probably saying somebody else wanted this pattern when she's done or something. Who knows? Anyway, right across from this junk shop was the Northport Grange Hall, so that was kind of fun to see. So then I did get some fabric and stuff like that. This is just a piece of rayon, but I loved it. I think I'm going to make a scarf out of it or something. I didn't necessarily get this for journal purposes, but it's just really yummy fabric. So, and this is a curtain, well, like a valance, you know, but very useful crocheted cotton. It's pretty big. And this is also some valances with some lace cut out. Like, I don't even know if this is old or not, but I just thought it was cool, and it's really soft. So definitely use some of that in some journals. And I always forget what this is called, this type of trim, but a whole roll of that, or a bolt of that. Excuse me. And a bunch of linen doilies. This one's relatively large. Little guy. Set of 2. I'm not sure what those are for, but whatever. I do want to try to put together some kind of a bohemian style journal as well. I've obviously been watching a lot of journal videos lately and getting some really good ideas for some new projects. So, and I love this. This would be, I thought this would make some cool like belly bands on, you know, journal pages. So there's that. And another linen doily. Some more crocheted cotton. And I do this, like I crochet thread like this. And anybody else that does this, you know that once you really know how to do it and what you're doing and how to follow a pattern, it actually does move pretty quickly. But it doesn't, when you just look at this, you think, oh my God, that probably took hours, But anyway, somebody who's really good at crocheting cotton thread, they can turn out some doilies pretty quickly. So anyway, I just thought this one was really cute. Little tiny one. It's stained. And this is actually a pocket. See? Little applique pocket. And it's got a little hook right here, so pretty sure this would have hung like on a wall or something for, I don't know what you would put in there, but maybe your handkerchiefs or something. Another doily. And like, I don't care if they're stained. They're just gonna get cut apart anyways, so it doesn't matter. And I'd probably stain it with coffee or something. I like the embroidery on this one. And this one's pretty big. This is like a table runner. Obviously linen though. Nice. I love linen. And some lace. So this is pretty large. So there's that. This is basically all of the like lace and fabric stuff that I picked up. Some little trim. Of Quality and value with fashion in mind. Some trim. I got some stamps from her. These are like never been used rubber stamps. And they just had some neat little images on them. So these would be great for stamping on book pages or, you know, for backgrounds or for tags and stuff like that. I have a bunch of rubber stamps, but you can never have too many. Right? Right. So there's that. Oh, and then I had set this aside earlier, but this is a Dritz automatic jewel setter kit, and it was actually $1.98, complete with 288 jewels and settings, with no fumbling. That's always nice. And I have a feeling this has never been used. Let's open it. I feel like I'm opening a tomb. Yeah, I don't think this thing's ever been used. Yeah, all these are sealed. So yeah, these are all the little rhinestones. And then the settings. Oh, and this is the little thing that you use to set them. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and just like, I'm definitely going to try this. So, and I will probably tear apart this packaging and use this packaging in a journal in some way, shape, or form. So there's that. And I kind of saved my favorite for last. This is what I get excited about when I find sewing notions and stuff like that. I get excited when I find button cards and snaps and hook and eye, you know, fasteners and stuff like that. So a bunch of snaps. I mean, these were 10 cents. These were stored somewhere pretty well for a long time. Snaps. I just love this old packaging. I love the way it feels. I like the way that, you know, they're just like, obviously these have been in somebody's sewing box, tossed around, kicked around, and saved. Somebody saved these. Like, they needed these for, you know, for clothing that they actually had to make, you know? I don't know. That's the way I think about it. But the colors. Look at the colors are so yummy. And look at these square snaps. I don't know. I just love them. And I will take these and sometimes, you know, rip it, ink it up a little bit, and use these on my little clusters that I use on just about everything. 10 cents. This was 10 cents. 10 cents. You know how we had 99-cent stores? I think they had 10-cent stores back in the day. Oh, or $1.55. More snaps. Look at this giant snap. That's so cool. Here's a little, like a sewing kit that was at the Biltmore Motor Hotel in Vancouver, BC. The place we went to was actually very, very close to there. So, well, no, that's a lie. Close to Canada, not close to Vancouver. But anyway, some button cards with buttons on them. And she told me that she has a whole bunch of button cards at her house that don't have buttons on them, and she's just been using like a thumbtack and sticking them on her wall. So I was like, well, you go ahead and bring those back into your shop, and when we come back in a couple weeks, to pick up our stuff after this craft fair. I want those button cards. Anyway, so then these are all like hook and eye cards. And these are absolutely my favorite. I mean, what is not to love about these? Come on. Yes. Yeah, and I got a bunch of them. Look at this one. I mean, it's just falling apart. It's so cool. So cool. I think I might put these on the scanner bed and just, scan them just to have the image of them. Also, and photograph them so then I can use the picture. And if I ever get like a color laser printer, y'all are going to be in trouble. Okay. Anyway, I'm a little bit goofy because I'm super tired. But yeah, I mean, come on. I scored on this stuff. And it was funny because like she didn't really, and these were in like these really old Ziploc bags and stuff, and they were just shoved in a drawer of an old dresser, and and there I am just like nosy and going through everything in her store, and I didn't even get halfway through it. She has a whole entire other building that's full of stuff. So anyway, so yeah, all of the doilies and lace and stuff, all the books, the pictures, all of the patterns, and all of that yumminess. And yeah. Oh, and I got 3 gallon, really old gallon jugs. Like, I don't know, moonshine or something. Who knows? Moonshine jugs. But all this stuff, and she asked for $65. So I thought that was pretty fair. And so I actually gave her $80 and told her, how much I appreciate it all. I really have been trying hard to not spend money on craft supplies and stuff, but I was with my mom, and that's something that we really like to do together. And something just called to me from that store, and there was just a reason that she was open today, and she was there, and anyway, it was destiny. So, plus the trunk. Yeah, that old trunk. So cool. My mom got a bunch of bed springs, really old bed springs, like a whole box spring full of bed springs that she uses to make like wreaths out of, and like these really cool flowers that she wants to make out of old bed springs. Anyway, and then she got like a fake fur coat too. That's pretty neat. So anyway, I just want to share that with you guys. I've not done a haul video ever in my life. So, and hopefully I won't have the opportunity to do too many more of them, because I am trying to be a good girl and not spend too much money. But I feel like I actually did really well. $65. So anyway, I'm thinking about some ideas for some videos. Maybe one on that book, ring bound journal with the hinged spine. I'm thinking about maybe doing a process video on that and on how I did that, and maybe just actually binding a journal and stuff like that. Kind of what my process is for doing that. Let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing some more detailed processes of like how I how I put these books together and, you know, hear more about that. So anyway, let me know if that's something you'd like to see. And thank you for watching. Thanks for sharing my all my goodies with me. And I'm sure you'll see a bunch of this stuff showing up in some books here in the near future. So I am officially inspired, like absolutely inspired. So I feel really good about it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. What are you supposed to do? Like, subscribe, share, and comment, right? All right. You guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. Bye.